Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Morfides with Mending Hearts Counseling, and in today's video we're going to talk about why we become anxious when we are interested in someone in a romantic way, or maybe you are just anxious when you want to apply for a new job, or maybe you're anxious about wanting to belong in a certain group of people, and you get these feelings of dysregulation within your body, which translates to feeling anxious, insecure, unwanted, and then and then the outcome of that experience is exactly what you're feeling. So say, for example, you have a crush on someone and you're interested in them, and you want to be cool, calm, collected, confident, self-assured, just like how you would normally show up in the world. But then for some reason, when it comes to meeting someone, you start to feel the complete opposite. You feel discombobulated, you feel anxious, you feel insecure, you ruminate with your thoughts, and then you start to say things like, am I texting too much? Am I talking too much? Should I be texting? You're looking at your phone. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Well, I am here to tell you, my darling, this is not your fault, and this is not who you are. 1,000,000%, this is not who you are. These are unhelpful core beliefs that have become your new lenses of perception for romantic relationships, or it also could be for work relationships or friend relationships, but we're gonna stick to the topic of romantic relationships for the sake of this video, because this is what I was called to create for today. And these unhelpful core beliefs are developed when we are children. So for myself, this is something that I am extremely familiar with. The feeling of being anxious, whether I am in a relationship, have a crush on someone and want to explore a new relationship, or in the beginning stages of a relationship. It doesn't matter what stage of a relationship I find myself in, the feelings of being dropped, the feelings of being insecure, the thoughts of, am I doing this too much? Am I doing that too much? Should I be saying this? Should I be saying that? Fearing abandonment, waiting for rejection, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy enough, constantly like ruminating in my mind. This is due to my core beliefs that became the lenses of my perception when I became an adult in my romantic relationships. And this is a list of core beliefs right here that become lenses of perception later on in our adult life that we develop from when we are children. And mine were very much sounding like, I am undesirable, I am unlovable, I am not good enough, I am unworthy, I am not good enough to be loved by others, I am bound to be rejected, I am bound to be abandoned, I am bound to be alone, and I am needy, I am too much. These were my lenses of perception. So every time I would embark in a romantic connection, or have a crush, or be in a relationship, every action that I took was experienced by me through those lenses of perception that I had. So essentially, I was continuously manifesting this reality within my mind, my body, of being insecure. My body feels dysregulated, it feels anxious, my nervous system is in fight or flight, and then it prevents the other parts of myself to be optimal, like my digestion or my sleep or my thinking patterns. It really overtakes everything. And then, of course, along with these unhelpful core beliefs, we have the anxious attachment style that is also a really big contributor to us feeling anxious and want to chase, hold on to that relationship and allow us to feel insecure within ourselves and how we're showing up in the relationship. So I did a paper on insecure attachment while I was going through counseling because this is the attachment style that I had developed when I was a child. And I'm going to read you something that hopefully will be groundbreaking for you, and you can finally understand why you are the way that you are, so then you don't judge yourself and you don't go down the route of why am I like that, what's wrong with me. Well, there's nothing wrong with you, but I can tell you your anxious attachment style, how it affects us, and especially in a romantic relationship. So insecure attachment, I actually wrote this paper from the point of view that the attachment style is now talking. Okay, so we have 4 attachment styles that no matter what, we're going to develop when we're a child. So this is how it goes. My name is insecure attachment. I originate from the emotional bond that connects an infant to their primary caregiver, and this usually is the mother, but it can be any primary caregiver that was the one that was primary there for you. The way in which that a caregiver reacts to the behavior of their child will determine if I will develop along with this child. My cousins are secure attachment, avoidant attachment, and disorganized attachment. Much like myself, insecure attachment, my cousins are also determined by the caregiver's reaction to the child and which one will develop. The percentages of me, also ambivalent insecure attachment, anxious insecure attachment. There's a couple of names actually that it's called in psychology. So the percentages of me, insecure attachment to develop, are about 15%. So it's not very high, but it's still quite a large percentage of us that exists out there with this insecure attachment style. And this is how we're going to feel when we're adults. We will be sensitive to outside threats. We will desire consistency and stability. We will value closeness and intimacy in relationships and seek for them. We will often be incredibly generous, sensitive, and attuned to others. We will act out when feeling threatened and become upset when received disapproval. We will develop a fear of abandonment that can be very strong. My fear of abandonment was very strong because literally I was abandoned in every single possible way by my primary caregiver, but because it wasn't her fault, she was just not emotionally stable herself to be able to provide me what I needed. And people didn't know back then about the 4 S's, like your child to be an optimal positive self-view and have a secure attachment style, you should be seeing it, soothing it, providing security and safety to it. None of those 4 S's were, I feel, really developed in my childhood. And I understand now, and I understand why I had this insecure attachment style. And of course, my dad also had left for many years while I was growing up. So my abandonment wound and the fear of being abandoned lived within my body so strongly, and it would play out every time, until I started to heal it. And I'm also still in the process of healing it, but I'm very close to healing it. So there will be a struggle to communicate your needs and desires clearly. You will want to be around your partner constantly or need constant reassurance. And this is something, you guys, that can be taxing on ourselves. I mean, obviously it's going to be taxing on the person that we're with as well, but mostly on yourself. Because if you're constantly seeking for reassurance from outside of you, then you're giving away your power. But really, we don't need that anymore. We don't need our caregiver to say, I love you, I'm proud of you, you're doing so well, to give you a hug, to give you that connection, because you can do that now for yourself. So cultivating the skill to give yourself what you need is what is going to set you free. And then we're going to talk about the modalities of how to do that after we talk about why this anxiousness lives within ourselves and how it can affect our romantic relationships, and how to understand it so you don't judge it. There will be anxiety in whether or not a relationship can last for you, as there will be a lack of strong sense of self. So basically, you don't think that you're good enough, so you're not sure how long this relationship is going to last. You're basically waiting for the other shoe to drop, and you're questioning everything. There will be questions of whether others love you as much as you love them all the time. Do they like me as much as do you like me as much as I like you? Do you love me as much as I love you? Da, 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 because you haven't cultivated that skill from within yourself to truly love you. There will be very much overanalyzing and worrying excessively about relationships. Again, this is a mechanism that we develop when we're children to make sense of what is going on around us. And it's almost like it's like a way that we as children give ourselves love is by overanalyzing and trying to make sense of what's happening in order to give us that love that we need as children, that soothness. So this will be another side effect of having an anxious attachment style. So just know that this can all be undone. And then, of course, don't forget the strong fear of rejection and criticism. And did I mention abandonment? So, my loves, this is not who you were meant to be, and it is not who you will continue to be. So, insecure attachment style will show up like this. And then, of course, you're deep down on a cellular level, it affects your system because your neurotransmitters such as dopamine and oxytocin that are much needed for our optimal well-being of our nervous system, right? Neurotransmitters need to be absorbed in our nervous system in order for us to have optimal health and well-being. These are lacking, and then we're constantly trying to find them and fill them from someone who represents a mother figure to us, someone who potentially can finally meet those needs and give us that dopamine hit, but we don't need it anymore. So this is how we're going to undo it. First of all, we are going to acknowledge that this anxious attachment style is the one that we acquired, and we're going to switch it to a secure attachment style by affirming that from this day forward, I will now provide all the security that I need for myself. You can script out your new story. You can write out that you are now securely attached. You can do all the things that you wanted your mother to give you or your primary caregiver, and if they were not able to, you will give them now to yourself. The compliments, the hugs, the validation, not from anyone else, just from yourself. You're going to give all these things to yourself. You're going to give your neurotransmitters what they need, the dopamine, the oxytocin, by going out dancing with your girlfriends or by moving your body at the gym, or you're going to go running, you're going to connect with nature. You're going to do the things that you love to give yourself those neurotransmitters so you can start changing your self-concept, your core beliefs about yourself. And then you're going to affirm that. You're going to look at yourself in the mirror minimum 21 days straight, if not 60. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are lovable. You are amazing. You are wanted. You are cherished. Because you want you cherish you, and you keep doing all these things for yourself to break the old pattern. And sometimes somatic therapy will be beneficial there as well, because once I started to rewire my programming with affirmations, meditation, that I am worthy, that I am good enough, I found myself still feeling the same way in my body. So now I would literally feel my body still become dysregulated when it encountered an opportunity to have an experience with a masculine that was in a romantic sense, because somehow the inner child within myself, it was still craving for these experiences that I did not have with my mom, but it was craving it now in my body. So I felt dysregulated, nervous, but in here, not so much in my mind anymore, but my body too. So I started to do energy healing and breath work in order to release all those years of being conditioned with the unhelpful core beliefs of I am not good enough, I am unwanted, and all the, I guess, anxiousness that I have felt for the last 45 years of my life. That does something to your body, right? Because when you're in constant fight or flight, your body is not using its energy that it's producing. It's using that energy that it's producing to protect me from something that I don't really need protection from anymore, because this is not my primary caregiver. I don't need to be protected from someone who may hurt me or give me an experience that will resemble that of my childhood, because now I have the power to change all that from myself, and I don't need that from anyone else but just myself. So if I give that to myself, then naturally I will attract someone who is going to give me just that which I gave to myself. But if I continue to give myself unhelpful core beliefs and stay in my anxious attachment style, I'm going to keep having experiences that will come in and reflect where I still am energetically, within my nervous system, within my mind, in my emotional body, because there's 4 parts of us: the physical self, spiritual self, emotional self, and mental self. So when all those are aligned and reworked, then we can become the optimal version of being someone, dating, crushing freely without any anxiousness, without overthinking, without over ruminating. And how wonderful would that be? Could you imagine what that would feel like to not worry? Did I say too much? Did I do this? Did I do that? Am I over texting? Are they going to get back to me? Should I have said that? Looking at your phone, thinking about it, not doing it, and then wanting to do it, but you're fighting yourself. Like, imagine a scenario where you just go into a connection feeling worthy, good enough, loved, cherished, wanted, desired. They want to hear from me. They want to be with me. You can achieve all that. Again, with your physical body, you can do somatic therapy, energy healing, there's breath work. Your mental body, affirm to yourself the complete opposite of what you are experiencing as far as core beliefs go or self-concept. Then your emotional body, transmuting all that anxiousness, all the emotions, its energy, transmute all that anxiousness into love for yourself, loving yourself. And then spiritually, remember that you are unlimited, and we signed up for these lessons and we signed up to have a specific attachment style. And it is part of the human experience to undo what we were gifted as children as far as traumas or insecurities or core beliefs or attachment styles go. It is part of our human journey to untwist these into something that is more helpful, to understand what the point of life is anyways. And once you get there, then you're going to see the worthiness of doing the work to become the most optimal, freely loving version of yourself. So you freely love yourself so others can freely love you too. And you don't have to feel insecure or anxious anymore. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please comment below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to do so. And again, I always welcome any new topics, anything else you want me to untwist, help you with. Today is New Year's Eve. What a better way to finish off the year and kick attachment style in the butt. Kick that anxiousness in the butt and start the year 2024 in a more relaxed, loving version of yourself, that you don't give a FUCK about what you say, how you show up in a connection, because you truly believe that you are worthy of it and you are worthy of being yourself. And of course, when I say we don't give a, we don't give an FUCK about how we show up, I mean in a kind, loving way, not being mean or condescending and all those other things, because that will never be serving to anyone. And yes, Happy New Year. Wishing you a happy and healthy 2024. I wish you everything. Love yourself. Give yourself everything that you need. You can do it. I'll see you next time. I'll see you next year.